Welcome to See You Next Tuesday. I'm Jade Chung. It's no secret that the American wrestling scene is pretty much like a Canadian's dream. You know, they're filled with many, many promotions, a whole lot of opportunities, and many, many more wrestlers to mix it up with. I was very fortunate and very lucky to have my start in Michigan. Having started out in Michigan, I was able to work for several promotions and from those several promotions be able to expand out to more states. And really that's pretty much, I don't want to say like the only way you can really make a name for yourself, but I mean, getting yourself out there and working for as many promotions as you can really does help get your name out. I'm about to catch up with one of my Canadian friends who is currently in the States right now, just living. She's out there living. She's out there living her life there, living the wrestling scene life, and I'm so excited to catch up with her. Please welcome my guest, my friend, Jody Threat. Jody, I miss you.
I miss you too.
Canada misses you.
I don't miss Canada. I miss you specifically. I don't miss Canada. Ontario, no, bad.
Yeah, not Ontario. Because, I think Vancouver is, good versus Ontario. I don't know. From what I hear, anyway. Ontario is just the shits.
So slow.
So slow. Oh, my gosh. So, with that said, you are currently in the States. I was going to say in the America.
Right.
Living your life. Doing your wrestling, enjoying being free.
Yes, no masks, go team.
How is COVID over there? Or even is there such a thing?
So I'm based in Ohio right now, and I know kind of like our provinces, the different states have different attitudes and different approaches to things. So speaking from my experience in Ohio and the few states that I've been wrestling in, it seems that things are pretty much open. Like I haven't had to wear a mask for about a month now.
Oh, so nice.
Yeah, I think a big part of it though is that they have like a huge supply of vaccines, and they've been able to roll it out a lot better than our country. And not saying that everyone's buying into getting the vaccines, but the flow is there, and enough, I guess, bodies have received it. And we're way ahead of you. Way ahead of you. I don't know, like literally, when I got here, it seemed like most things were opening up. Like you still had to wear masks, and within a few weeks of being here, masks were thrown out the window. It's fabulous. Except on airplanes, you still have to wear them on airplanes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the crappy part. Okay. Well, I'm super jealous that you're living a normal life over there.
No tan line across my face.
Yeah, not like us over here. We're apparently, we're recording on July 14th, and where are we? Yeah, 14th. And apparently in 2 days we get to go to stage 3 where more things open up, but also indoor places open up, which is nice. Because you know what?
With the capacity though, it's very reduced, right?
Very reduced. But air conditioning's really nice, so
nice not to have sweaty armpits,
Yeah.
Yeah. That in between boob sweat. No, thank you.
No, thank you.
God. No, thank you.
I don't have boobs, so I don't know what that's like. So,
man, you still get the dribbles that go between. I don't got big boobs either. You know how you get that sometimes that bead that just starts from the top of your chest and it slowly slips down to your belly button. Nasty.
I guess. Yes. All right. I'll pretend to know what you're talking about. Let's talk about high school Jody Threat. Let's talk about Jody Threat when she was little. Now, were you always a pro wrestling fan?
No, I didn't even know what pro wrestling was.
See, this is what I love about you. I'm like, I gotta ask about it because I already knew the answer. So,
Right.
okay, we'll get to how you randomly got into wrestling.
Right.
But tell me what you were into when you were younger.
When I was in high school, or like even younger than high school, because
You have different, yeah, I
we
guess
went
you,
through different phases.
yeah.
Big
Oh, tell me your
big phase.
phases.
Well, I obviously there's like, the grade 6 and under where you're just nuts and you don't really care. I was just like a super tomboy, trying to
Yeah.
fight everything and play all the sports. And then I entered like middle school, and um, back in those days, like hip hop and rap were like really big. And I grew up in like, a very urban part of like Toronto.
Mm-hmm.
So I was very
Rexdale?
in, no, actually Scarborough.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
I started downtown, and then my family worked very hard and were able to buy a house when I was, I think, like grade 6. And so I did middle school in like Scarborough. Um, and like I said, rap and hip hop was a huge part um, of my life then. Like I literally had a baby blue velour tracksuit with my K
Nice.
Swiss. Yeah, it was pretty nuts. I even had like a Rough Rider chain. It was it was something else.
Sweet.
Yeah. And
Did you
then we got
ever
to high school.
wait, did you ever wear like, oh, what is that brand? Kang, is it Kangol? Kang something. Do you know that
Yeah,
brand?
the hats
Like,
I do.
yeah.
Yes. I did not. I was more into the Nike visors.
Nice. Yes, you
Yeah.
seem like a visor person.
Yeah, and I had like so as you know I have curly hair.
Mm.
Now imagine that curly hair cut short, because my mom has very straight hair and my dad has curly hair, but he cuts it short. So no one really understood how to work with my curly hair. So
Oh
they would just
no.
cut it. Yeah, they cut it short and make me brush it. So I had literally a fro.
Oh.
So I would wear my visor and my fro sticking out of it. It was pretty
Nice.
I should dig out a photo and show you one day, because
Oh,
it's
please. I was just
yeah,
about to ask.
yeah, it's pretty wild.
And what was your hair color?
At that point, I wasn't dyeing it, so it was it's natural. I guess it was like a dirty blonde, light brown, but like it
Yeah.
reacts to the sun a lot. So summertime,
Mm,
it would lighten up a bit for me. Yeah,
wild. Oh my
right.
God. You have to dig out a photo.
I will. I will. The archives.
I need to see it.
So funny.
All right. So high school Jody.
So then high school comes about, and you kind of meet new people, new friends, and that's when I was
Okay, wait,
kind of
wait, wait.
into.
Sorry
Yes.
to interrupt you. So
Yeah.
the whole tracksuit thing was uh up to grade 6?
I would say it was up to like grade 8.
Oh, okay. I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah, and then
that's pretty good style
no.
for an eighth grader.
Underneath, like from grade 6 and under, I don't even know what I was. Give me the hand-me-down clothes,
Yeah, yeah,
didn't
yeah.
really matter, but definitely tomboy-esque the whole way through. Um,
Okay, so then
but
for
yeah,
grade 8, right? Did
yes.
you go through the period of parachute pants? Like the super, super duper wide-legged jeans, flared jeans?
Oh, we had flared jeans. We
But
def you're talking about like the ones that from the knees down, like the
no, I'm
like that
talking
sort
about
of stuff.
like super wide leg. Oh, like kind of like the ravers used to wear.
That was grade 9-ish. I didn't end up going to that phase, but like my friends around me, I would say that was more like grade 9.
Oh, that was me. I went
Yeah,
through that
like
phase.
mod robes. Do you remember mod
Yep.
robes?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, those
Had
are
to have a pair of
wonderful.
those.
Yeah, okay, I had a pair of those too, just not the jean version. So comfortable.
So comfortable. All right. I won't interrupt you this time. All right. High
No, please, I love the
school
interruptions.
Jody.
Yeah, high school Jody.
What was her
Uh,
style like?
very interesting, I think is the word. Because we kind of bounced around, like grade 7 and 8, kind of finding myself, and kind of found myself through like I said, like those velour suits. And then I kind of brought that style ish into grade 9, but fell in with like a new group of friends, because I went to not my feeder school. My parents were really pushy to try to get me to go to like this one school that was known for academics. So we actually had like uniforms, which was interesting, even though we weren't a Catholic school. They were like a wannabe like private school. It was like RH King Academy. They used to be like a very prestige school, not so much anymore. Like it was, you had to have a certain like average, and then you could apply. Like this is if it wasn't your feeder school. And then if you apply, you then go into a lottery. And then based on if you got picked or not, you would be welcomed into the school. So to my parents' delight, I was one of the lucky ones to get into that school. So actually, I blame the uniforms for the reason why I have such a immature style in my adulthood now, because although I did explore different ways of dressing, when you get to wear clothes every day that aren't a uniform, like you have more time and more influences to strive towards or to try out. Whereas like mine was limited to after school, which typically was, I played a lot of sports. So it was like athletic attire, and then weekends. So literally 2 days a week I can play with what my style was. But yeah, it was interesting. I went through a phase where I used to like, so Genos, like that, like Geno style was really in high school too. So I went through like a light Gina stage, I'll call it, where like, you slick down the hair really like tight into like a bun. Yeah. And then like the heavy, like sort of like eyeliner. Yeah. I think that's what came directly after like the velour era, I'll call it. It was a nice transition into there. Then from there is when I started to get into like more like an alternative style. Like I met some friends and started listening to like different music. And so I think that's kind of where like the mod robe, like the bigger pants you spoke about, appeared briefly on the weekends.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. And then I remember specifically, I went to like my very first punk rock concert with a guy named Jake McKenzie. Yeah, he brought me. I think it was like the end of like grade 9, Riot 99. It was like a Toronto punk band. And after that, that's when we went a little more what you would call punk, with spikes and lots of safety pins at that point.
Spikes.
Yeah. And that's where the hair coloring started to come in, and, piercings everywhere. And yeah, got in a lot of trouble because, you can't modify your stupid uniforms, but I would always do it because, fuck the authority. And yeah, I rode that style for a very long time. Like it got more and more aggressive, I'll say, with like, the different colored hair and the spikings. And I went.
Are we talking about, you're saying spikings? Are we talking about like spiking your hair up? Like
yes. Like I did Liberty spikes. I used to have Liberty spikes. I was a good kid and still kind of listened to my parents. Well, really, my parents liked to bribe me. So like a few times I had these like wild ideas. Like I actually had dreads for a total of like a weekend.
A weekend?
Yeah, literally a weekend. I like, I would disappear on like Friday night after school, and then would come back typically like, Sunday evening before school. And I came back the Sunday with dreads, and my dad had a cow and literally bribed me. Like I want to say like something like, I don't even remember what it was. Like I feel like he like a shopping spree or something if I agreed to like pick out my dreads. So it takes usually a little bit for dreads to settle. So like I had them done, but they hadn't quite set yet because I did it over the weekend. And I remember, like I said, the bribery ensued, where he said he would give me this much money to go shopping if I took them out, and I remember him going to like Shoppers Drug Mart and buying me like this like 2-liter jug of like conditioner, and then spending 4 hours in a bathtub picking out these cute dreads. I was so mad. My friend Budgie is what we called her, spent so much time doing it for me, and I sat there just picking them out, and I feel like I lost half of my hair that day too. Like,
damn,
my poor hair. Yeah. But,
okay, what goes into like making dreads?
So the approach we took was you need a comb, and then you need a very, very thin toothed comb. So either like a dog grooming one, or you know how those like lice combs,
Yeah,
the metal ones, you know how it's so thin.
Yeah.
So you would basically separate the hair where you want the dread, and then pretty much like back tease with that comb, and then you have to like push it up and like knot it up, and then keep teasing, and it's a lot of knotting and rolling and that sort of it took hours, and we did it over a few days, and we were wild back then. Like, there was a lot of underage drinking that happened, so just drinking our Jack Daniels and God knows where. Yeah. We got into yeah the good old days.
Wow.
When it wasn't weird to be sitting around drinking JD in a small food court.
And you have an older sister, right?
No, I'm the oldest.
Oh, you're the oldest. Sisters.
Yeah.
How many younger sisters do you have?
Two.
Okay. So did your younger sisters like follow your lead? Like, did they
not at all
copy your no?
No, I guess so my parents were actually quite strict, and so I would bid my business outside the house so that they couldn't see what was happening. So I think my sisters didn't so much, and they didn't go to the same school as me. They went to their feeder school.
I see.
So I got to get away with stuff that they didn't, because they would snitch on each other.
And so with your high school style, is that how Jody Threat is born?
I would say so. I was a little more I feel like Jody Threat actually, like, style wise, is a little more toned down than me in high school, but then ramped up in personality, if that makes sense.
Yes, makes a lot.
Yeah, because I was more, like I said, like an alternative sort of look that, like, I'm trying to cater to an audience, like, I understand business a little. So although I have that sort of edgy look, it's definitely more marketable than what I would have used to wear. And I'm not trying to wrestle with spiky hair. I don't want to poke anyone's eye. It takes so long too.
And with red hair, so you've just had red hair ever since, I guess, what, grade 10?
Well, I played around with a bunch of different colors. And I would say it was maybe I was like 20 when I settled on red, and I only changed it once when I moved to Belize, just because I didn't want to deal with the upkeep or, being a bigger standout than I was already in like a new country. But as soon as I came back home, I dyed it red again.
So then what color did you do then?
I just covered it with like a dark brown.
Oh.
Yeah.
Can we talk about Belize? Holy moly. How long did you live there for?
Just under a year. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was, I would say, I think I was like 2 years out of university, and that's when I ran away, literally. Yeah, I did it smart though. I got like an agency I was working with, and they shipped me out there. But it was actually quite sad. I had another dog back then, and he passed away like very prematurely. He was like 3.5, and he had like a brain tumor. Yeah, and that kind of like shook me to my core. So I was like, I need to get out of here. So an opportunity to do some advising down in Belize came up, and so I advised for their government and their, what was it, youth and sport ministry.
Wow.
Yeah, it was really cool.
Dang.
I miss it. Yeah.
So
I
then,
should be hiding out there.
yeah. Well, I don't even know I don't even know what it's like over there right now.
Actually, I don't either. I haven't talked to anyone in a minute. Yeah.
So fast forward to now, you do community development that focuses
Yes.
on youth and families.
Yes.
Holy jeez. Can you tell us what you do?
So it depends on what portfolio I'm in at the time. It, they would kind of dictate what I'm doing. So just before the end of the world, the pandemic, I was focusing on youth and their families, and basically a liaison between them and services in the community, and like advocating for different things that they may need, or like gaps in services in the community. Um, then it kind of morphed once the end of the world happened. I jumped to a new portfolio where I was actually overseeing a new facility, and I was just kind of managing that. Obviously, like the job itself looked really different because we weren't really able to communicate face to face with people. So it was more managing staff, and trying to run any sort of programming, or we would like plan for programming and then it would be canceled a week later.
Oh,
Yeah. And then once, like, I'm on a leave right now from work for me to be able to, run away and hide in the States. But when I go back, I'll be my new portfolio will be focusing on youth and their needs. Kind of like that job or that position, it'd be more like a Walmart of youth services. So basically, I'm out in the community. I get to know the youth in the community that I'm working, and they tell me what it is they're needing, and we figure out how to get it for them. And that could be like small things such as, bus fare, up to like big community changes, like say like their local community center is not youth friendly. So we look into ways of advocating for that to change.
oh, that's so awesome.
Yeah, it's really cool. Very, very cool.
And I remember you posted like a throwback photo, probably like last year or something, something to do with skateboards.
So skateboarding, is or used to be a very large part of my life, and so that was like an easy vehicle for me to connect with youth. So I can't even think which picture, because I went through like a phase of like 3 or 4 years where like that's a lot of my work was based around skateboarding. Even like my Belize stuff, I went down there as an advisor.
Mhm.
I was supposed to help them develop basically a manual and a training for their staff on how to civically engage youth, which then morphed into me meeting youth down there. Like, I remember hearing like a skateboarding wheel, and I like whipped around, and there was like a kid on a skateboard, and I found like this very small community of skaters in Belize. And I used that as sort of like my case study of how to engage youth at where they're at and with their interests. And so um, was it like a group of like a bunch of kids in front of like a white building, and we're all like throwing up our skateboards?
E- I don't know about the building, but yes, a bunch of kids.
Yeah, it was probably that one. That's because it's one of my fondest memories. So that would have been in Belize, and that was, yeah, we advocated to get money so that I could bring some of my homies from Canada down to Belize to meet me, and we helped build their first skate park. It wasn't a permanent one; it was like a modular one that we were able to move around to the different districts in Belize. And then also we like ran like youth skateboard, I'll say lessons, as well as like a demo, which is kind of like a
Oh my
mini comp.
goodness. Oh.
Yeah. And so a lot of work like that. And like back in like Toronto, I was on some committees for skateboarding, and I did like a girls only program for skateboarding. We did like a pop-up skate park that traveled around to the different, like I used to work in like the Jane and Finch sort of area,
Mhm.
where there isn't skate parks up there. So we would literally like a big truck full of these movable, skatable objects
Mhm.
to the different areas, just to introduce youth to something that was different. Because often you find like recreation, like the easy thing to go to is basketball, right? Like you always see hoops everywhere. So it's just trying to give like an alternative that, isn't necessarily basketball, that could be easily accessible and maybe spark some sort of passion if like youth are just bored with stuff. It's like a whole conversation. Like my whole theory is that like a lot of issues with younger people getting into trouble is that sometimes they just lack like that spark. Like for me, like I was lucky my parents stayed together, but I feel like I could have gotten into a lot of trouble because honestly my home life wasn't like pretty. My parents probably should have divorced when we were really young, and they didn't, and it caused a lot of issues. But I think the reason why I stayed out of trouble and I was able to finish school and graduate from university and like, kind of do like a sort of normal path was because I had sports. Like I was very, very passionate about whatever sport I was playing. And so that's what I wanted to get out of like skateboarding for other people was that passion to get them
like
focused on
outlet,
something else.
right?
Yes, exactly.
Oh,
So a lot of fun projects with skateboarding for like 3-4 years. Just like
that's
rambling on about
awesome.
it.
Oh, it like warms my heart. Oh,
Yeah, it was good times. Good times.
now that you've had a real taste of wrestling in the States, I thought it'd be fun to compare Canada to America.
Okay.
First off, and the most obvious, what's the difference between Canadian and the American independence?
Well, I feel like there is just a lot more opportunities in America. Like there's a lot more promotions, and they range from like the higher end promotions that people are watching to what you would call like the shindies where you have like 5 people. Like in Ontario, as you know, we're so lucky. Like you could not ever leave Ontario and probably wrestle like 2-3 times a week, no problem.
Yeah.
But now imagine that like times whatever, like times 10 across the country. And I don't know if it's because the population is bigger in America or what it is, but there's just a lot more opportunity.
Yeah.
That's like a very physical difference. But like another difference is just who's watching what. Like more people are watching American independence than they are Canadian independence. And so if you are trying to make it as a wrestler full time, you really want to get into the American market, which, as you know, is like a whole thing on its own, to get those eyes to potentially land a contract.
Exactly. And I think a lot more promotions use, streaming sites to stream. And I don't know why like Canadians don't do that. I'm trying to think if anyone does.
Like IWTV, I know that C4 is on it.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think that Crossbody just before the end of the world jumped on too. I'm trying to think who else. I know like Alpha One, I'm pretty sure used to be on it. And then he pulled to jump on Impact.
Are these people doing like live streams?
Oh,
I don't think they were doing live.
No. It was the pre-recorded stuff.
Right.
For sure. Yeah.
And I guess it's hard because I guess they have to bring their stuff over for a live stream, right?
I don't know how it works, but I feel like the live streaming stuff got popular during the pandemic, which, as you know, like Canada hasn't been running anything, and America has been the one that's really been opening up, and specifically like the death match stuff is like boom during this era. Right. So I don't know if it has something to do with that. Like I know Beyond was one of the ones that kind of was doing it weekly for a while.
Right. Yeah.
Before the end of the world, but it was like it wasn't as many live streams as it is now. And I think Canada just really hasn't jumped on board because like it's booming during the end of the world, like I said. Be interesting to see what happens.
Yeah. I think Destiny Wrestling I think was the first promotion to announce that they're having a show. I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure Destiny was the first Canadian promotion to, or Ontario promotion to announce a show. So I'm really excited and I'm freaking hoping that Ontario doesn't close up again like right
Stop.
before.
Don't even put it in the
I know
universe.
I
Don't
shouldn't
even
put
put it in
that
the
juju
universe,
on there.
please.
Oh God. I just want someone from me who's not like actively wrestling. I just want to go to the show and friggin' watch
Yeah.
some live. Like I just
Yeah.
painful.
Yeah.
Man. So how are you enjoying like road trips and all that?
I've lost my driving callus. It's back now, thank goodness. But no, seriously, like you don't realize like how much you build up to being able to drive, 8 hours wrestle and then drive 8 hours home without like having a hotel. You just do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And my first few weeks back, like I was very lucky. I was traveling with some people that have their calluses still. So it wasn't like the end of the world, but like I was definitely passing out on the car rides.
Oh boy.
Yeah. And I was, thank goodness I wasn't driving. But yeah, we're back though. We're back, baby. I have my dog with me, and so I
Yeah.
can't, yeah, if I don't have someone to watch him, I have to bring him to the shows. So I have to say
Oh.
no to flights and opt into driving. So one of these
Wow.
instances, like 3 weeks ago, was so like I said, I'm based in Ohio, specifically Cleveland, and my show was in Maine. And so the promoter was like, okay, yeah, we're going to buy your flight. I was like, hold up, Randy. I'm sorry. I actually need to drive this one because I have the dog. He's like, what? Are you sure? I was like, man, the sacrifices we have to make for the dog. So I drove I think it was something like 11 hours or something.
Dang.
Yeah.
And
Randy's
Dodger.
bomb. He got me a hotel and stuff. But yeah.
Yeah, that's nice. But Dodger, how did he do in the car ride?
This dog
He's
is a
chill?
road dog. Yeah,
Oh.
he loves it. I don't know if you know, he's I adopted him. He's a rescue. And
Hmm.
his past life must have been with like a junkyard or trucks or something that involved driving, because this dog really likes trucks first of all, and always tries to get into random large vehicles. Like if a door opens, he's like, oh, for me. But he will pass out. Like there's been times where I'm like driving and I don't hear him, and then I hear like something like rustle, and I'm like, whoa, what the heck is that? And I remember like, oh, the dog's in the car. Like I don't need to be afraid. But yeah, he loves the car rides. He just sleeps the whole time. The old man.
Oh, that's good. And how
Yeah.
is Dodger just loving it?
This is his life. He's actually originally American. Like he's from West
Oh.
Virginia. So yeah, he's he's loving it. He really is. Like I'm kind of scared to bring him home. Like I don't know if it's because I'm spending so much time with him.
Hmm.
But like he's not much of a player. Like he doesn't play with his toys. I really have to get him going for him to want to play.
Oh.
And he has been going into his toy box by himself and pulling out toys. So it's showing me that
Oh.
he's like happy and comfortable and stuff. And yeah, I don't know if it's because like he's happy in his environment or if it's just me hanging around with him more or what it is.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, Dodger. Is he old? He's older too, right?
Yeah, he's about 9.5.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, Dodger.
Good boy. And it's really cool too to see him adjust to going to shows, because back before the end of the world, I had a roommate, or my parents would watch the dog for me when I was on the road.
Yeah.
So he didn't spend too much time around wrestling.
Hmm.
Um, so for him to see him open up and be okay at wrestling shows is kind of cool, and it's kind of giving me confidence for like maybe when things get back to normal, I'm back home, I could start bringing him on the road a little more.
Oh. And he's just a
Yeah.
good boy. Like he just lays there, or is there
Yeah.
somebody that watches him while you're wrestling?
Um, he'll if I'm down there, he'll just chill by my bag. And he'll if I have to wrestle, someone will just sit with him, and it's been really cool. Another really cool thing is like he's met like a lot of like random wrestlers from America, because like when I had my apartment and was wrestling, a lot of people would stay at my house before I
Mm-hmm.
had a roommate. And so, yeah, he actually got to meet a lot of people. And so for him to be reintroduced to these people, like Blackwood, for instance, Blackwood hadn't seen Dodger in probably like 2 or 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
And I brought him to a show and he recognized Blackwood.
Aww.
Yeah. And it was very cool. It was very cool. And same with Jake something. Jake
Mm-hmm.
used to crash at my place like monthly because of Super Kicked,
Yeah.
and him and Dodger were homies. And again, he hadn't seen Jake in probably a solid 2 years, and like the excitement this dog had when he even smelt Jake was nuts. And so it was like
Aww.
really cool for him, like for me to see him meet these people he hasn't seen in like a minute. It was very nice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's
So
sweet.
one of his many uncles and aunts usually watch him when I go and wrestle.
And even for Blackwood, because he changes like the color of his hair like often.
Yeah. Yeah,
So,
yeah. I guess it must
oh,
be sense.
Dodger.
Mm,
He's so good. Okay,
very good boy.
we'll get back to comparing Canada
Oh, right.
and the States. Well, we'll get back to that. I want to fit in a game. I want to fit in this or that. So I am going to name this or that, and you just tell me which you prefer. All right.
Okay.
The first one is new phone or new clothes.
New clothes.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Mm-hmm.
Coffee or energy drinks?
Coffee.
Really? See,
I
I
love
thought,
energy drinks,
yeah.
but I love the taste of coffee, like a good solid bean. Like I drink my coffee black. I love it.
I just always see you with an energy drink.
Right, because the
So I
coffee
was,
doesn't work anymore.
oh no. Okay, cake or ice cream?
That's a hard. Can I have ice cream cake?
Yes, you can.
Yes.
I just had ice cream cake 2 days ago. It was fabulous.
So good, man. Best
It was
invention.
a strawberry shortcake ice cream cake.
From where?
DQ.
Sounds wonderful. Is that like a
It
new
was,
flavor?
I don't know, it was just a party in my mouth. It was amazing.
Yes.
So good. Fake or real Christmas tree?
Real.
That's my girl.
I love the smell.
And the last one, wild animals or domestic animals?
That's a really hard one. Oh God. Oh no. Taking Dodger out of the equation, I'll say wild animals. Yes,
What's
wild animals.
What's your favorite wild animal?
That's also a hard one. I can't decide. Dinosaurs. No. I don't know. Too many of them. All of
Too
them.
many.
Yeah.
All right. You're an animal person.
Yeah.
Okay, so going back to comparing Canada and the States. So we've done the whole wrestling scene, and pretty much everyone will agree that the American wrestling scene is the best. I mean, it absolutely trumps the Canadian scene. Simply for the variety and just how many promotions there are and how many other wrestlers there are.
And we got make sure you emphasize that Canada as a whole, because again, Ontario is bomb. We have so much going on, but if you look at like Canada from like coast to coast, up and down, we suck as an average, right? Because you have to admit, Ontario is booming.
Yeah.
So get on it, Canada. Pull it together. Let's go, Yukon.
Yeah. I agree. I agree. We also need, like, if someone can do a big promotion based out of Canada.
Yes.
But like, I don't know who would do that. I don't know if I would think Canada has the market for it.
Right. Wouldn't it be lovely if, cough, cough, Impact kind of shift it more into a Canadian cough, cough? Aren't you friends with, Scott D'Amore? Cough, cough.
That'd be great. Well, like before all of this shit, like
Mhm.
I loved that they were doing TV tapings here. I loved it.
Yes. Right.
Because not only were they using Canadian talent, right?
Right. Right.
But like I could go to the show and watch.
Right. Exactly. The kids could go. It's great.
So yeah, here we are. Well, here I am in Canada, not we.
You.
Daydreaming, daydreaming for fucking my life back. Real
Right.
daydreaming for real life to come back.
Right.
Ridiculous. All right.
Have you gotten a haircut yet? By the way, I know
Oh
they
my
just allowed. Just
goodness.
allowed.
Oh my goodness. I am getting my haircut tomorrow, actually.
Yes, girl. Did it
I
take you
have
that
been
long to get
waiting.
in?
Oh
Yeah,
my
I
God.
bet.
Well, kind of. They had to do the clients that
Right.
get the words. They had to
That
take
they
care of them.
canceled on
Yeah, they had to take
when
care
they
of the
first shut down.
clients.
Yeah.
Yes, yes. They had to take care of them first.
Right.
But yes, I have been dying to cut my hair actually last fall. But I was like, oh, okay, I'll just wait a little bit. And then like we closed up again. And I'm like, crap.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, reopening end of January. I'm like, okay, I have to do this. I have to do it. And because I drive to Guelph for my hair. So it's like an hour
Right.
drive.
Jesus.
Well, I have this thing about like I have trust issues with
I understand. I
with
understand.
hair, tattoo artists. It's
Yep.
trust issues.
You travel for that shit. I get it.
Hell yes, hell yes. So I'm like, okay, I don't care. I'm gonna drive through the storm. I don't care. I'm gonna get a haircut. I need it.
Mm-hmm.
And then we shut down.
Yep.
And then they kept being all wishy-washy with, okay, maybe we'll just be shut down for like only 2 weeks and we'll reevaluate. Like, fuck, okay. And the fucking government completely shuts us down for the next 3 months or whatever.
I feel like it was longer than 3 months.
It was
I feel
longer.
like 5 months, 6 months.
Well, 3 months, and then they kept prolonging it. They kept extending it.
Yes.
That's the word, extending.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
Extension upon extension. Yeah.
So I'm really happy to chop off these dead ends.
Oh gosh.
It's disgusting. Yes.
You didn't go at it yourself at all? Like I did.
I almost did. I almost did. It all had to do with courage. I did not have the courage.
Right.
I tried to do this ponytail style. So where you put your hair in a pony.
Okay.
It has to be in a certain height. And then all you do is just, okay, so you pull up till you get to the end, and then you just do a straight, like, cut.
Okay.
At the end of the ponytail. Terrifying, right?
Right. It is a little terrifying, yes.
It's super terrifying.
Yeah. I have curly hair, so if you mess up, like it just as long as you didn't cut too much, it hides in itself. Usually.
Yeah, mine's like super straight, and I almost came close twice, and I said, you know what? I really don't trust myself. And not only that, but I'm a perfectionist. So I know if I screw it up, I'm totally going to hate myself. Yeah, exactly. So I'm kind of glad I chickened out because I can finally cut my hair tomorrow.
Man, I feel like you should have given the scissors to Jet. Jet seems to be good at everything. I bet he would have been a natural at cutting your hair.
Can you imagine?
He's like Edward Scissorhands. You know how he like
out like the Yeah, no, I'm good. I'll let him be good at other things.
Right.
Yeah, I'll let him be good at other things. Okay. Let's talk about what about the food? Are you loving on some American places or something you've tried that we don't have here? Have you been to a Wawa's? I don't know if they have it there. Maybe it's just like
I've worked in a few places that have Wawa. Wawa is pretty good. You know what America has, like, food-wise? It's not specifically food, but like outdoes Canada are the places like Wawa or Sheetz, where they have like not just ready to order food. Like they have like, they're like cafe setup. So like you go in and like you order on this computer screen, and it's fresh served. It's not like they're already made. Whereas
Oh,
I don't know if we have any of that here, or in Canada. It's
like
like
in a convenience store? What do you mean?
in a gas station.
Oh, in a gas station. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, like they have like full out,
No.
like some of their gas stations are like full service stations with like showers, and restaurants in there. Um, but
Oh.
but yeah, specifically Sheets and Wawas, they're just so
Mhm.
cool because you can order salads and they make it for you. It's not just like, you go to the fridge, open the door and pull out a salad that's been made a few days
Yeah.
ago.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So food wise, I think that's like the coolest. Like, I live in Toronto, so I have so much access to different kinds of foods,
Right.
that I feel like it's hard for me to say, oh, American foods are superior because I have access to this, this, and this. But actually, I work in downtown Toronto. I have access to anything, anytime. So I'm spoiled that way. But
Yeah. Yeah, I totally get that.
their
Yeah.
gas stations are superior out here, though, for sure.
Yeah, that's what. Are you a dessert type of person? Are you not
I
like one of those donut lovers?
I love donuts. Yes.
Okay. Have you not tried places yet?
I've found a few places, but again, like I feel like I'm so spoiled living in Toronto. Like, we have so many good spots, and we have so many good spots that cater to just donuts, just cookies, just butter tarts, and it's all drivable, or even walkable in some cases.
Yeah,
So
okay. I guess food was a bad topic
I'm
because
spoiled. I
you're
ruined it.
spoiled with Toronto good eats.
Yeah, for real. Maybe if I
Yeah.
was out in, Brampton or whatever, it would be a different story.
Yeah, where we live here, there's no fucking such thing as Uber Eats, okay? No one will deliver here. It's fucking sad.
Which
We
is
went from,
nuts.
oh my God, we went from like living in a city where, obviously it's smaller than Toronto, but like you had everything. You had Skip the Dishes, you had Uber Eats,
Hmm.
so you had many options. And to here where no one will absolutely deliver to your town at all.
So weird.
The
Because not
only
even like it's a
places,
little town.
yeah, yeah. And
It
like the
makes
only
no
place
sense.
that will deliver is like Pizza
Oh God.
or I don't even know if like this pub, I don't even know if they actually do, but yeah, that's about
Yeah.
it. So if we're lazy and don't want to go out, that's like our only option is
So
pizza.
lame.
Yeah. Okay, how about shopping? How about do you go to Target? Is Walmart
I go
better
to
over
Target.
there? You know what? Toronto fucking missed out. Like we had Target
Hmm.
here and these Canadians did not know how good it was.
So good.
Me off.
Why did it fail? Like I always wondered what happened. Like, why did it just not get over?
People just didn't know. Like they just didn't know. So they continued to just go to Walmart for everything.
So lame. Because Target is amazing. I love
Yeah.
Target. Whenever I come to America, that is usually my first stop is into a Target. Even if I don't need to buy anything, I just want to walk the aisles because
Okay,
they're
but be
awesome.
real. You always walk
Mhm.
out with something, don't you?
Obviously, obviously, but
You can't you can't leave Target without, you know, something.
something. Yeah.
I don't care if
Yeah.
it's from one of those $1 bins.
Right, right, right. It's funny as you say that. I'm actually like fiddling with this like little thing that I got from one of the $1 bins. It's like protects your cord, the neck of the cord, so it doesn't splinter or whatever, bend.
Mm.
Yeah, it's a pretty good buy for $1.
See,
Um,
it's amazing
yeah,
to just look through.
right. And their clothing line's pretty cute too. I'm not gonna lie.
It is actually.
Yeah.
Well, I think it was like Massimo or something. I think that's the clothing line. But like, here's the thing. Their clothing line in Target was so much nicer. And even though we had Massimo in, I think it was Zellers had it,
Okay.
and it wasn't like as good I don't know.
Right.
That's really weird. But for some
It's
reason,
weird.
Target's just amazing. I love it.
It is. It is. And also, I have to say, here in America, for whatever reason, there's just way more deals in general.
Yeah. Are you talking about oh, in
Savings.
general, like everything, right? From like
Yeah.
groceries, Walmart, outlet stores,
Yes.
and stuff like that, clothes?
Yes. Like the other day, I went to a place called Kohl's, which I don't even know what I would compare it to. It's not
It's
quite
like
like a
a
Winners.
it's like a JC Penney.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I walked out saving $80 on like, yeah. I lost my mind. I'm a big sucker for sales, but like, and my bill should have been $160 and it was like $80
Yeah.
because I was like, I had one of their membership cards, which all you do is you give your email. And because I spent like $20 my last visit, I got like a coupon for my next visit. Plus there was already sales. So you can like in Canada, sometimes you can't like top your sales on sales.
Yes.
It's like one coupon or the sale. Here in America, you could stack that shit. So I stacked everything. Plus I had Kohl's dollars. And I was like, hell yeah. And I left like 80. I swear, I will take a picture and send you the receipt to show you that I saved 80 friggin' dollars on this bill. It was nuts.
That's like a
Yeah.
love language for me. I love
Yeah.
sales.
Yes. Sales, coupons, anything, give it to me.
It makes you feel so good. Like just
Yes.
I don't care if I saved $5. Like I fucking saved $5. That's $5 that
Yes.
I get to keep.
Spend on a donut.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Wow. Love it.
Okay, did you hit up any skate parks in the States? Do you have your board with you?
So actually, your lovely husband smuggled my skateboard into the country for me because I had to fly in. So he drove my board in. And
You can't fly with it though?
I already had like so much. So it's considered like my personal item. And I already had like a personal item, a bag and a check bag. Because when I came over, I brought like a lot because I knew I was going to stay for a while. And I just didn't. So yeah, Josh saved my life and brought my board. But I haven't. And a big part of it is like a lot of people ask like why I don't like really skate anymore. It's because if you skateboard, if you have a solid session, like I'm not talking about like kicking around here and there, like that doesn't count, but like go to like a skate park or a skate spot and you like run it for a few hours, you are going to get hurt, period. It's a matter of like how badly you're going to get hurt. So I've really devoted my life to wrestling the last few years.
Mm-hmm.
And so I've actually like kind of given, shelved my board for the time being because it would devastate me if I, hurt myself, if I fracture my wrist or my ankle or anything on my board that would prevent me from getting into the ring. Yeah.
That's smart.
So
yeah.
I figure eventually I will retire from wrestling and then I'll go back to skateboarding. But we can't have two high risk activities going at the same time. Yeah.
So then do you just ride? Like just like no tricks or anything, just kind of coast?
I can cruise around like Dodger likes to pull me on the skateboard.
Aww.
So like I'll do that. Or like if there was like you can do some like mellow like vert skating. So like if I did bring it to a skate park, like if I found like even just like some like a mini sort of ramp or even like a quarter pipe or something, you can do some like mellow shit there where you're probably not going to get hurt. But I don't trust myself, so I don't even like bring it to go do that. Like the most I'll do is I guess is skate with the dog.
Mm-hmm.
So I have no self-control.
Do you still come out to wrestling with your board? I don't think I've seen.
No,
like,
see, this is another thing. Like, so I feel immense amounts of guilt because I'm not skating and I'm not producing like little clips or anything that like I really kind of want to pull away from the gimmick of the skateboard.
Okay.
I was bullied. Like Ash, my old trainer, my first trainer, I guess, he kind of forced the gimmick on me because it was like an easy sort of bridge. And I never wanted it because skateboarding was real Jody, and I didn't want to bring that part of me into wrestling because it meant so much to me outside of wrestling. So I was always like very hesitant with it. So once like it did its part where it kind of drew some attention on me because it's different. And once I had enough people just kind of liking my style in ring, I kind of shed the board. Like I really did use like COVID as like, you know,
A way to
my
start over?
rebirth.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So I
Very
have my real
cool.
deck here,
Okay.
but not my gimmick one, you know.
Okay. I like that. I didn't know that that wasn't like your idea,
No,
you know.
no,
Mhm.
no.
But
See,
I
yeah,
totally get like you not wanting to bring that part of your life into something
yeah,
that you're trying, you know, or like back then you were trying to
right,
get into. So,
right. Yeah,
how
good
about
times.
energy drinks?
Yes.
Are there energy drinks that you cannot get here in Canada?
Well, the big one originally was the Rains. Like I'm a big fan of Rain energy drinks,
Mhm.
but Canada now has them. However, the formula is slightly different. They're more potent. They're more caffeinated here in America,
Hmm.
and there's actually more flavors here in America. So the energy drinks here in America are superior.
I remember Josh would always stock up. Um,
Yes.
he'd always stock up on the Rain energy drink. Although I think he's found different ones. We've got on like the kombucha train,
Yes. So good.
and yeah, so we're on that right now. But yeah,
Have you
anyways,
guys tried some of Saber's kombucha? He was
you know
making some
what?
there for a while. So
Yeah,
good.
he was, and he was supposed to bring me some, and he never did.
This guy.
This motherfucker.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to say that. I didn't know if I was allowed to swear. So,
I'm gonna ask him. I wonder if he's still doing it.
yeah,
I
I'm
don't
not
think he
sure if he
is.
is.
He went
No.
through a whole phase of like cooking different things and pickling different
Mm
things.
hmm. Mm hmm. Mm
And
hmm.
like, yeah, COVID, he was like just making stuff and like learning how to make like wild things too. So I gotta ask him about
Which is
that.
lovely. Yeah. I know it in like at times if we got to like a point of like a zombie apocalypse where like we really needed to fend for myself, I would want him on my team so he can
Yeah.
make me these delicious things. Yeah, he knows that.
He can make
I
like
miss that
a,
guy.
yeah. Jet adores him. It's like,
I
Uncle
bet.
Saber, Uncle Saber, go see Uncle Saber. Go jump
Aw.
in the ring. Go jump in the ring.
So funny.
Okay, last comparison. Are
Hmm.
Canadians nicer?
That's a good question. Definitely a stereotype. See, I have a hard time because again, I'm in Toronto. We're assholes. Period. We're always rushing. And so maybe in like general terms, I think Canadians are nicer, but my day-to-day interactions in Toronto, I would say like we're pretty on par. But if we're comparing Toronto or Canada as a whole, I would say Canada's nicer.
Yeah.
It's us city
How's
folk.
Do you go out in Cleveland at all? What do you do?
Not too much in Cleveland. Honestly, like I feel like I'm just on the road so much. I was like laughing the other day that I've been here like since mid May, and we're just like I'm about 20 minutes from Cleveland, and I don't even know if I've been there at all this trip. Just because we're on the road Wednesday, Thursday is usually when I'm leaving, and then I'm getting back either Sunday night, Monday, and so then
Hmm.
I have like all of 2 or 3 days to pull everything together to get on the road again. So it's like
Okay.
no time to do anything. Lots of wrestling happening. Like it's nuts. Seriously,
That's
like it's
great.
yeah. I'm so happy. Like I'm so happy.
Let's shoot back like 4 or 5 months from now when you were thinking should I do it? Should I, you know, leave it behind, leave Canada behind and go see what America is like? What would you tell yourself? Like, what would
Well,
you right now tell yourself back then if yourself back then asked you that question?
um, honestly, to do it, but to time it right. So I think this has been so successful because I think I timed it really well, and the opening presented itself. Because, say 4 or 5 months ago, back in the winter, there were shows happening, but there weren't as many shows happening, and they weren't happening with crowds. A lot of them were in studio.
Mhm.
And a lot of people were using more local talent because they weren't making the money they were making off their shows. So I
Right.
think by coming, I was maybe a month and a half. I'll say a month. For my first month, I had some shows, but then all of a sudden it boomed. And now it's like, because I came just in the right time, there was a few studio tapings and people knew I was here. So as soon as they were ready to start running, they remembered I existed. And I've been very busy with bookings, I think,
That's
based on
amazing.
that. Yeah. So I would
Amazing.
say do it, girl, but time it.
Yeah. Good
Yeah.
for you, Jody.
Thanks.
It takes a lot of guts to go,
Scary.
and yeah, very scary. But
Yeah.
shit, you're there. You're fucking doing it. You're
Yes.
living the you're just living.
I'm living.
Shit.
I don't want to come
Living.
home. I'm scared. The next step will be to figure out what do I do when it's time to come home. Oh no.
Yeah.
No. God.
Yep. All right, let's jump to another game called Rapid Fire.
Oh God. Okay.
Now, oh, before we do that, we got to talk about you not being a wrestling fan,
All right.
starting out. And I know the story. I don't know if anyone else knows the
Yeah.
story, but tell everybody how you just thought, oh, this is wrestling. Okay, you know what? I'm going to go do this.
Oh God. Okay. Long story short, my sister had gone through a very nasty breakup, so we were out for some drinks on the town, and we stumbled across a handwritten sign that said "Live Pro Wrestling" with an arrow, and we're like, why not? So we took our tipsy asses to a indie wrestling show in the basement of this cool venue, and literally was there for maybe 5 minutes and understood that I needed to do this. And 11 days later, I was enrolled in that promotion school.
Yeah.
Yeah, literally.
And just like that. Yeah, see?
Ta-da! I was born.
And so,
You,
okay,
you
so
know
then
who's in the ring? Funny fact. You know who was in the ring?
who?
I'm only bringing it up because we were talking about him earlier. Shane Saber.
Really?
Yeah,
Really?
yeah,
That's funny.
yeah.
Who is he fighting? Do you remember?
I think it was him. I think it was like a tag. I want to say him, Tarek, probably like Ash and Chris, if I remember correctly. But for sure, I remember Saber because I was like, "Oh, it's Jesus!" Yeah,
Yes, yes. And just like that. And now look at you. Six, I want to say five. Are you, what is it, 5 years? 5 years in now?
not even. Uh, I think I'm 4. Feels like
Four.
forever, but I'm
Okay,
pretty sure
yeah, yeah,
4.
yeah. Because that had to
They,
be after me. Like after
yeah, it
that,
was you
right?
were you
Oh,
were
okay.
gone already. Yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't get to
Okay.
see you at all in that ring, unfortunately.
Fucking wild.
Yeah.
It just, isn't that crazy? You just thought, all right, yeah, okay. I want to do this. Looks
This
fun.
is very typical of me. Very typical. Like when I told like my friends and family what I was up to, they're like, "Yeah, I'm not surprised." It's like, "Oh." Yeah.
So then after
It's like, at least
enrolling
you're
in,
staying in the country this time.
well, fast forward
At
to
that
4
time.
years.
Yeah, right.
So after training, after being in the business, did you start watching wrestling and like watching like older
Yes,
stuff?
yes.
And okay. Did
Yeah,
you,
I did
so you
a
had
lot
no
of like
idea? You had no idea like what wrestling was before?
like everyone knows what pro wrestling is, or I think they know what pro wrestling is. And like when I was in my young days, like below grade 6, like it was the Attitude Era. So I had friends that were into wrestling, and I remember like we were in the playground a few times, and they're like, "Oh, let's play wrestling." I'm like, "I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. You want me to just fight?" It's like, "Yeah, you can be China," and I didn't understand what that meant. They're like, you're big and strong, you beat up people. I'm like, okay. And so I would like fight these people in my playground, but were playing wrestling. And I remember this other time I went to like a wrestling birthday party for this kid named Ricky Masood. So if Ricky's listening to this, Ricky Masood, like I've actually taken on your dream. Anyway, he had a wrestling themed birthday party, and I remember being in his basement, and he wanted to have like girls versus boys in wrestling, and then we got a bit wild. And I remember he like really hurt my friend Carmen, and I lost, and I just smashed like a light. Like a lamp over his head, and then the party was over.
Oh my
I think I
God.
was like
See,
grade 5 or
Jody was
something.
hardcore
Yeah.
before she even knew she was hardcore.
Yeah, apparently. Yeah. Good
Damn.
times.
All
So that
right.
was my knowledge
Well,
of wrestling. Yeah.
shit.
Yeah.
Okay, so rapid fire. I am
Yes.
going to name a simple move,
Okay.
and you name the first wrestler that
Oh
pops up.
God, I'm stressed out already. It's me naming my friends.
All right, the first one is drop kick.
The drop kick? Oh my God, I don't know. Honestly, you're gonna laugh, like Mark Wheeler, but it's who I learned, right? Like these moves are associated with people that I've like worked with, and Mark Wheeler, I remember, always had a sweet drop kick, and he was like who taught me how to drop kick.
See, I like that too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, super kick,
Oh, that's the Young Bucks.
choke slam.
You're gonna laugh. uh, I'll leave that. Okay. Choke slam. I don't know, like Undertaker. I
Good,
was gonna
good,
say
good.
someone else, but I'm gonna leave it alone.
Well, now you're gonna have to tell me. You can tell me afterwards.
Yeah, for sure.
DDT.
DDT.
Mhm.
Jake the Snake.
German suplex. I actually didn't think I'd hear like an old wrestler from you. I
I
thought you
know.
were
I'm
gonna
like,
just
because I
list
tried to
off
play.
like independent.
I'm literally like, well, DDT. It was obviously Diener came to my mind first. I'm trying to play the game correctly. It was obviously Diener came to my mind for that DDT. What did you say?
German
I forgot what you
suplex.
said. German suplex. A variety of Japanese wrestlers come to my mind.
Okay,
All
is
of
that your
them.
answer? Okay.
Yes.
All of the Japanese wrestlers.
Yeah.
All right. Moonsault.
Oh, no one really comes to my mind for that one, to be honest. You off of speakers. But actually,
Oh boy.
yeah,
Well, thank
you know
you.
which one I'm talking about, right?
Oh yes. Well, the
I see
only
that
one
clip.
that I did.
Yeah.
Only one I did off speakers. Okay, the last one is power bomb.
Actually, Jake something.
Nice.
So
See, that wasn't so bad.
it was really stressful because I know how the game's supposed to be played, but then like I said, my reference points are like very specific to me.
All right. Let's talk about Backyard Pro.
Yes. The best thing to come out of the end of the world.
100%. So entertaining. It's so
Yeah.
good. Vertigo is such a genius.
He needs to
Every
win an award. Like he
No
needs to,
kidding.
yeah, gold stars for that guy for real. He
It's
saved
great.
lives, like for real. Like I truly believe like his project, like saved. Like I think like the reason why like I had some sanity was because of that project. Like for real,
So
he's a
good.
hero.
Hilarious. Yes. Definitely
Yeah,
a hero. Okay, I might be saying it wrong.
yeah.
How did oh, can you just say it? Not oh shit.
So
Natas?
I,
Not
so I say Nataz, but there's so many different ways to say it. But like because of like the weird like voice I make, it's just easier to say Nataz.
that way didn't even come up.
Yeah.
Nataz. Okay. Did you come up with Nataz?
So the name I did not come up with. Ricky Shane Page came up with the name because he backyard wrestled with someone named Nataz or something like this. And he's like, that's the perfect name. But the gimmick, actually, I had the gimmick. I did like one of those zombie shows that Super Kick used to do. And I was
Yes,
like, this
yes.
little like, yeah, I played a character that was similar to that. And I always wanted that to be like my gimmick. And, you know, a few people have told me, no, just stick with what you're doing. Like, don't change your gimmick. And so this was like, again, Ricky Shane Page said, this is the time for you to play with that gimmick if you're going to do it. And now, you know, I have people advocating for me to actually take on this gimmick. So it's funny. One of them being, you know, one of my trainers / your husband, Josh. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he totally wants you to do it full time.
I'm in. Like I might do it. I might retire Jody and go full the task.
Okay, then Ricky must have been just like screaming at the TV when they're saying it Natas or however they're pronouncing it.
Well, he actually pronounces it the way you do, like Natus. Like that's what like when you read it, it's like Natus
Mhm.
is what like people
Yeah.
think. Like I only say Nataz because like I said, like it's easier to say in my weird gremlin voice or
In your
whatever you would
gremlin
call it.
voice.
Yeah. It's different than I can't say that I'm copying the person that he backyard wrestled with.
The hype video that Vertigo made where you're the starter of it, where
Yeah.
that beat hits and you kick open that door.
Yeah.
Like perfect. I fucking busted out laughing. I'm like, she's perfect.
Oh,
Like,
he's
it's
perfect.
that. Oh my
He's
gosh.
genius. He's genius. I'm telling you, he needs to. We gotta like enter some sort of like independent film festival or something
Yeah.
because I feel like he needs to be recognized somehow.
So good.
Or, no,
Where were you that you found this I don't know, it looked like an not an
a porta
outhouse.
potty.
Oh,
It
was
was
it a
an
porta
outhouse.
potty?
It was an outhouse. It was a legit like
Oh.
built up out random spot out like Vertigo lives in bumfuck nowhere.
Yeah.
Like literally on the way to Ottawa kind of thing. And he had scouted this spot and yeah, the outhouse was there.
Perfect. Oh my
Yeah,
goodness.
it was literally perfect.
Now, I'm wondering for myself, how is
Mm-hmm.
your voice after each of your matches that you've done throughout like all the seasons?
So the first season, or I guess the first 2 seasons, it was more, I was just kind of there helping out Jimmy because, you know, I was his pet monster. So it was
Mhm.
I didn't have to make as much noise as I did as like the last season when I actually fought Jimmy for the belt and won because I
Mhm.
had to make that noise for the whole match.
Yeah.
And then it was even worse when I went to GCW and did their backyard show because that
Yes.
was like a full match in front
Mhm.
of an audience, so there was no resting, and it was by the end like it was not good. By the end, I was like, it wasn't even proper, and I got blown up a lot too because I was making noise the whole time. I just felt so gassed at times
Oh
because
my
the stupid
goodness.
noise, not even for what I was doing. Yeah. Pretty
So
silly.
was that with doing your character at GCW, was that the only thing that you would say that you wouldn't want to do this character is just the whole like your whole voice thing?
Well, it's very comedic, right? Like
Mhm.
I'm only kind of getting used to like comedy wrestling like now, whereas like for a long time, like I looked at wrestling as like athletics and I treated it as such because that's how like what I did my whole life. And so I really tried to take things seriously and didn't like know how to play. And so I this is just such a comedy based character. I don't know. Like I wouldn't want to give up like Jody Threat completely because I feel like that's more serious wrestling at times
Mhm.
versus like I
Mhm.
said, this would have to be very, very character based, like less physical, I think.
Right.
Like there can be physicality to it. Like if you like you probably didn't, but because it's on Fight, but my match at that GCW um backyard show, I did like physical stuff, but a lot of it was like slow paced and like the reaction of Nataz being a weirdo. Um, versus like when I like wrestling as Jody Threat, like I move quicker.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
like that. I like to break a sweat.
Yes.
Yeah.
I have one last game before we go in. It is my Survivor Series game.
Okay.
So you're going to choose four other animals you'd want on Dodgers squad.
Okay. Oh my god. And who is he facing though?
Oh, that's a great question that I never am prepared for. It's
Okay.
basically
The ultimate team. Okay, so obviously there's Dodger. So Dodger would need, I would say, a coyote.
Mm.
He would need some sort of bird that pecks. Um, so maybe like a Canadian goose, I think, because they're like
Oh, those
pecky and
motherfuckers.
scary.
Yes.
Yeah, right. Okay, so we have a coyote. We have a Canadian goose. Um, maybe like a moose,
Nice.
because you need someone to do like the heavy lifting. Yeah. And then I guess we need some sort of like sea creature too, just in case. So like maybe like a great white shark.
Interesting.
Yes, that would be his team. I don't know what they'd be called, but that's our team.
Very interesting. And I like how you have two Canadian animals representing.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Very nice. Well, Jody, thank you so much for taking a break from your road trips to
Yes, it's
come
lovely.
and talk to come and talk to me. We miss you here in Canada, but
I miss you too.
I'm loving that you're in the States because that is basically the best place to be if you really want to pursue wrestling.
Yeah.
So good for you for making it down there. Continue to kick ass. I'm just happy that you're there. Let us know where everyone can find you on social media.
Yay. So basically, Jody Threat at both Instagram as well as Twitter are like my main sources of social media. I'm too scared
Yay.
to work with TikTok. It's a scary world.
And I'm supposed to ask you,
Yes.
um, the question is, I won't say who asked this,
Oh God.
but I was asked, I wasn't asked, I was told to ask you, um, if you'll be better at social media messaging.
I'm trying. I'm trying. I'm so bad at it.
I won't say who.
Right.
I will say that I do live with my husband, but I won't
Yeah.
say who told me to
Right.
ask that. So
I mean,
we'll leave it at that.
as that person knows, I'm also very bad at responding to texts. I lose my phone a lot. I put it down and I just forget about it and I go on my way, and I know it's bad.
So guys, don't message Jody. Let's leave the messaging to promoters so that she can find those messages quicker.
Right. Yeah, seriously. So bad. So bad. So bad.
Jody, thank you so much for coming on. Until then, see you next Tuesday.